here's a little project I've been working on in the side a little bit. I made a new body of a little furnace. This one should be able to reach a much higher temperature than my large one, which can only reach about 2,000 as a maximum. I've welded all this together and cut some holes, and I added hinges to the back here and some angles so that the lid doesn't flip over all the way. And I welded some rebar in here so that when I pack this with refractory concrete, it doesn't bust out either. And then down here, this little hole is going to have the function of a emergency drain in case a crucible fails, so that the metal doesn't just coagulate in the furnace and ruin the refractory. And then right here, this hole is for the burner. And then this is a thermocouple, so this will have to sit somewhere right about like that, so that the thermocouple touches in and that the burner comes in tangential to the outside of the furnace. I think this is a pretty good design, especially since it's a relatively small furnace, and that's okay because I don't need anything larger. I would assume this will probably be able to get up to about at least 2,300 degrees, maybe even up closer near 1,000. Really have to just see how it comes out. It's kind of hard to calculate all that out. There's a lot of variables involved. So I will get ready on casting the refractory. Furnace here is all cast. There's the vent hole in the lid, and here's the main body, and it goes down. I gotta cut this stick out still. I don't know if you can still see it. That was to plug the bottom hole while I was casting. There's still a little bit of a powdery stuff sitting in there in the bottom, but overall it's finished. And so here's the burner hole. So that goes inside, tangential to the outside of the wall over here. And then what that does is it makes it have a nice vortex of a flame. It'll shoot around, and then it'll just lick the tip of this thermometer right here, thermocouple probe, which I have mounted on the outside. Still got to cut these down a little bit, and all I have to do now is fire it at a slow temperature after it dries for a couple days. And this handle is really nice, makes it nice, easy to close. The dry out schedule is right here. So for the first 24 hours or so, you have to just leave it at about room temperature so it cures, and then you increase the temperature 100 degrees Fahrenheit per every hour. And once you get to 1,200 degrees, you have to hold it for 1 hour per inch of thickness. And I only got like 4 hours of that because it's about 4 inches thick maximum. That's always it's gonna take a long time. It'll probably take an entire day and most of the next day just of firing it to get that done. But you know, I think this little furnace would be nice. It weighs about, I don't know, about 80 or so pounds in total, and that means I can take it around in my truck between my mom and my dad's house and do all sorts of metal casting and stuff. And this will be significantly higher temperature furnace, so I'll be able to melt some more I don't know, some cooler metals. Definitely steel. And copper I was able to do in my other furnace, but it weighs about 350 pounds, so I can't really transport that very well. So I'll show you when I got it up and curing, and maybe I'll have a crucible in there, who knows.
I decided not to videotape most of the heating up process because it really took an entire night and then most of the next day. So I'm getting it up to the final temperature here with just a regular propane torch, and I've got a crucible which I'm melting copper into on the inside, which is pretty cool. It goes goes quick. Looking down the vent hole, you can just see how hot it is. It's over 2,000 degrees just with a propane air torch setup. So once I modify that into a propane oxygen or higher compression of air, then it'll definitely increase farther above this temperature even. I decided I'd give the furnace a little bit of a break on its first day, so I decided to turn it off and take out the copper. This is really, really hot. I should have got my videotaper to film it from the other side so you could see sort of what happened, or as the metal poured in, but overall I still think it looks pretty cool. The metal starts to rapidly solidify towards the center, and the furnace is red hot. The ingot just finished solidifying right there. That was the last little bit that was liquid. That's a little piece of KO wool. I didn't want to flip the ingot out directly on the wood, and it was starting to burn the wood through the ingot mold even. So I thought I would get that out. There's some small pores. That's probably because I didn't heat up the ingot mold completely before pouring the copper in, which isn't usually the best idea, but I was kind of in a hurry to start another project, so I just went ahead and did it anyways. And the copper really melts down. It doesn't look like it's very much, but that's at least a pound or two of copper. There's the pores. You can see them a little bit easier from that view. Here I compare the ingot to one I had made in my larger furnace, and it's considerably bigger, but it also took a few hours to heat up, while the small furnace only took a few hours. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how my new furnace was built.